Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So with this COVID thing going on, a lot of you guys are playing tennis for maybe the first time. You're trying to teach your spouse, you're trying to teach your kids, you might be trying to teach grandma there. Okay, so I want to let you know that I got Coach Irina here with me, and I got her tactics and her teaching style to help you out here, because I know we all get frustrated with, especially teaching our spouse, and you should probably never do that. But if you decide to do that, you have to think of it this way. Okay, so I got Coach Irina here to give me a hand, and we got a lesson today for you. So Coach, come on over. Coach Irina here. So explain to me how, for a person who's never played tennis before, what are your tactics for that? Like, what do you do, and how do you approach it?
The best way I would probably suggest going about it is, if I'm trying to teach my boyfriend how to play tennis for the first time ever, he has no idea how to play, break it down to the most basics as much as possible. Think of it as if you're trying to be respectful to your 90-year-old grandma who is trying so hard to please you and trying so hard to learn how to play, but you just keep getting frustrated. But if you have that mentality that, she's a little bit older, she may not understand, she's her first time, obviously. So if you have that mentality in mind, I think that will help you to not get frustrated, to not get your hopes up as if, you're trying to pour your heart out to the person and teach them how to play, and then they're not doing what you're teaching them. So if you just calm down, take a deep breath, and think of it as just something fun, just something easy to go about, I think that will start to work out a little bit better for both of you guys.
So depending on what level they're in, so we're assuming that your spouse or whoever you're teaching is going to be a straight up beginner, right? For you to expect them to be at your level is way over the top. Like, we can't expect that. We basically just want to take it all the way down and see what we get on that first lesson. So we have Myron over here, who happens to not be a spouse but a boyfriend. Come on over. On our first lesson ever. So that's Myron. He's never played tennis before, right? Like most everybody, who's gone out shopping for a racket, you were probably sold a Pure Drive, just like this, right? We got the top rated Mizuno shoes going on, right? Because I helped him out, okay? And he's got his Wimbledon shirt on. So he's kind of ready to go, right? So we're gonna go out on the court now and take it from square one. Let's go. Anyways, all right, so we're on the court now, and we're gonna go with square one. Irina, let's start.
Let's take it from there, huh?
Let's take it from here.
I would probably suggest starting on the service line. We'll start with Myron as a lefty, so grab your racket. So we want to make sure when you're holding it, you want to be right on the bottom of the grip, right there. So your pinky is basically right about there, right? You don't want too much space up high. You don't want it to be, release your grip a little bit. You don't want it to be up here, right? And you also don't want it to be this way, where any of your fingers are hanging down. You want it to be just right there on the edge, right there, right? Okay, hold it. How does it feel?
It's good.
Okay. All right. So then we'll start right here. We'll turn sideways. Take your racket back. Right? Your left hand is always going to be there as a pointer. Whenever the ball is coming your way, this left hand is going to be your guide. You either can do the finger or you can do the hand, whatever feels more natural or comfortable towards you. So this also will guide you and help you where your contact point is going to be. So when your racket is right here, your hand stays here. Right? So relax your elbow a little bit. Good. You don't want it to be too straight out and not too bent and close to your body. You want it to be just right about here. A little bit of space right here, a little loose. Your wrist locks in. Good. And then hand right here. So when you take it back, it's like a little half circle motion. Go over here. The string's always facing down. All the way, all the way, all the way. And then when you get to here, which should be your contact point, right about here, you want to take it on your shoulder. You can even start just from here to make it even more simpler. Come on the line. Okay, just hand out like this. There you go. And then if you can, try to aim this way so you don't hit me. But if you can, if not, don't worry about it. Hand out.
Okay.
All right. Very simple. There we go. Again. Hand out. Great. Again. Perfect. You always want to make sure your body, your shoulder stays here, right? It's your racket that goes out first. Yeah. And then everything else follows. It's not this shoulder or your head. Everything stays locked in, eyes on the ball, and just the racket follows. So now we're going to add one more step. You're going to start from here, facing me, racket out front. There we go. That's good. Right hand on the top, which is called ready position. So from there, you're going to split step, that you're a little familiar with already. So you're going to split step, and then you're going to go back to what you just been doing.
Forward or back?
Just almost on the spot. Split step, and then turn. Exactly. All right? Let's practice. Show me the whole movement.
So just this?
Split step? Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? So split step. Good. Again. Split step. There we go. That's good. Again. Split step. Perfect. Excellent.
What about, because I see him going like this. So his first step is actually back, right? Would it matter if instead of going back after the split step to like split step and kind of go like this instead?
It could be, but that's that additional, you're thinking too forward, right? So if you just think of, I'm just picturing from my own memory when I started when I was 7, and it's very clear. I mean, I just remember you right here, and you from the most basic, all you trying to learn and teach your body is this motion, right?
Right.
Just this motion.
So it doesn't matter how you get to it then.
Eventually, once you get this, you turn, then you start to tweak a little bit. Okay, you don't turn this way. You turn more softly, more round, right? It's not just this sharp turn backwards. Same thing will be for your backhand. Or another tweaking to it is like, okay, if the ball is too short, you don't wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get ready, split step, and then you move towards the ball and get to it. So I think what you're talking about is a little extra step forward. And if you're the person that you're teaching already has some basics, then that will be definitely a plus to talk about. So that, whenever you split step and before you hit the ball, you turn this way. It's more of like this little hop, but you're staying down, you're staying balanced. You're not hopping too high, you're not hopping backwards. It's right here. It's all about the ready position and getting around comfortably based on wherever the ball is going, so that when you get in the position before you strike it, it's right in front of you, right in that ready position.
Okay. So where do we go from here?
From here,
Since he's ready to maybe take the next step already.
we can either based on the person. If it's getting too much, maybe take a break, and then go to the baseline and try doing forehands, or you can turn to the backhand, which I know sometimes can be a hard shot to learn because backhands is a little bit tricky. You have to use your 2 hands. If you want to do one hand, that's also tricky because you have to learn how to balance this whole upper body of the shot. So we can try to do backhands.
All right, let's try this one back here.
So we'll move on this
Move it
side.
over here.
Okay, so for the backhand concept, it's basically the same thing, right? You still want to split step, you still want to turn, but now we'll go with a 2-handed backhand instead of 1. Just because I'm more familiar with it, I play with 2-handed. Most people that I know play two-handed, so I'm just gonna go with that option for now. So with two-handed, since you're a lefty, your right hand will go on top, and it will be the same thing, like how you were doing it over here on your forehand. How you turn, it's the same movement, right? Facing the racket, the strings facing the ground, and then once you hit the ball, you take it on your shoulder, right? You remember that movement. So now your backhand will be your backhand will be this side.
Okay.
So the same thing, you'll turn this way.
Like this?
Yeah, there you go. Not just your upper body, but you have to turn your feet as well.
Okay.
The right wrist, when you're holding the racket, you want to be right here. You don't want to hold it like this. You want it to take it this way, right? This way, this way, this way, this way, and then on the top. So try and keep this wrist right here locked. This way. Like an L shape. Go. There we go. Good. Again.
Okay.
Lock in. L. There you go. Okay. Under the ball. Think of it. There you go. Perfect. One thing. This leg never goes out front like that. This leg always stays behind. This is your dominant leg. This is you guide wherever your body wants to go with this leg. It's never this way. It's never this way. It's here. And if you want to move, it's this leg. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
But don't take the back leg forward.
Okay.
Because then that opens you up and it messes up with the whole entire shot.
So coach, what are we emphasizing on this backhand? What do we need to know?
It's really important to make sure you check all the fundamentals of the shot, the basics. Your hands, are they in the proper position? Is your wrist, is it too straight like this, or is it actually locked in the little L position how it's supposed to be? So when you take it back, you actually have the position of your wrist will be able to get under the ball and eventually strike it all the way through. Are your legs in the position? Once you have these little, I would say 3 details, your hands, right, your body position, and then are you actually striking the ball in front of you? Once you have that, I think that then you can try and emphasize or move on forward with your shot. Then you can move on to the split step. Then you can move on to actually moving backwards and moving forward, moving to the ball, side to side, and from there on.
All right. So what are we trying to gain by the first lesson?
Don't take it too seriously. Feel of everything, not just of you hitting the balls, but just being on the tennis court, seeing, what does the service line mean? What does the baseline mean? The very, very, very basic rules of tennis. And then, yeah, just feel how to strike the ball, how it feels to actually hit the ball. Hopefully on the center, not off the center or not the frame of the racket. And that's it, really. Just taking it very, very easy and the most basic of really the game of what it is.
So guys, do you guys remember what it was like to take your first lesson? Right? We got to take it all the way back to that and not expect a whole lot from a natural, true beginner. Right? So just have fun with it. Don't kill each other, because it's going to be a long road ahead, but we'll all get there. All right?
Just have lots and lots of patience.
Yeah, and have fun with it too. So for your first lesson, remember that old saying, keep them wanting more? Well, you gotta have to be like that. So keep your spouse, keep your kids, keep them wanting more, right? So maybe limit the first lesson to like an hour, hour and a half, because you don't want to burn them out on that first lesson, or else they ain't never gonna want to come back, right? So I want to thank Coach Irina for being here with me today and pupil Myron for learning today. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.